this is exit ticket for lesson 102. Okay, so if the sound is bad, I apologize. I'm trying to fix it. Okay, so in this exit ticket that you did in class on Friday, it asks you to suppose that a friend missed class that day and you were to solve this problem and explain it step by step. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is show my work on this side. Remember I told you to put a T-chart. So I'm going to rewrite that and then I'm going to start solving it. So the first thing I would do over here to solve is that I know that these are implied parentheses, okay? And if I look at the order of operations, in order for me to solve an equation to isolate this x, I need to reverse the order so that I can undo all of them, okay? So over here I have a grouping and I have a divide by 5. So I have a division and a grouping. So if I'm going to undo this, I'm going to have to undo from bottom to top, right? So I'm going to undo the division first, and then I'm going to undo the grouping. So if I have divide by 5, the inverse of divide by 5 would be to multiply by 5. And I would have to do that to both sides of the equation. So I would multiply by 5 and multiply by 5. So over here in my verbal description, I'm going to say that, okay? So undo the division by 5 using inverse, which is multiply by 5. And then I'm going to say, do this to both sides of the equation. To maintain equality. When I was grading your papers, these were the following check marks that you received. So for this step, this would be a check mark where I see that you are multiplying by 5 on both sides. Okay, this would be a check mark where I see that you're saying inverse, the correct keyword, and that you're describing the division by 5, the inverse is to multiply by 5. So those would be already 3 check marks. Over here where I said that do this to both sides of the equation, so both sides y to maintain equality. So that's another check mark right there. Okay, so then my next step over here, and my work would be to have these two cross each other out, they eliminate. Divided by 5 and times 5, they're inverses, so they're gone, they cancel each other out. So we have x plus 6 equals, and 7 times 5 is 35. Okay? Then my next step would be to undo the plus 6. So to undo the plus 6, excuse the announcement.
Matthew Covington, please report to the college rep office. Matthew Covington, please report to the college rep office.
So to undo plus 6, I would do the inverse operation, which is minus 6, and I would do it to both sides to maintain equality. This has to be shown on both sides. So then I would have over here my answer. Let me describe that step right here. That step would be plus 6 by using inverse operation, which is subtracting 6 to both sides. Now you already got the credit or the check mark for saying to maintain equality. So here you can add that, but you already got the check mark for that. So here if I'm grading your paper, and this is your paper, you got another check for showing the minus 6's on both sides. And you got another check by saying that inverse is to subtract by 6. Those are 2 checks there. Okay? Now finally, Okay, you would tell your friend, well, you think you would be done, and if you got 29, you got another check for the right answer. But you also have to check your work. Okay, so I would check it by substituting my answer back into the original equation. So here I would substitute the 29 plus 6 divided by 5, and that must equal to 7. Okay, so then 29 plus 6 would be 35, divided by 5 equals 7. So then, yes, 7 equals 7. Oops, sorry. So here's my check. Okay, so if you showed all of this here, that would be another check mark, bringing a total of 4 check marks on this side. Okay, and over here you would have to explain the check. To check your answer, substitute it back into original equation. Okay, and I was looking for the word substitute, and that would be another check. So we can't auto check, because that was a 100. Some of you had your work correctly, you just skipped steps or didn't explain with the right vocabulary. Some of you did some mental math, or you didn't work down the page where you showed me the inverse on both sides, the inverse on both sides. And some of you forgot the last step, which was to check it and to explain the check. Okay, so those were the most common mistakes. I hope this helps for you to correct that exit ticket and get a 100.